So, just like anything else in life, the baby and newborn industry is just that, an industry. And a lot of people are trying to make a lot of money off of pregnant moms and new moms. And I had my first baby 7 years ago now. So I am a mom of three, and I've had plenty of experience now kind of figuring out what you really need, especially for a baby, an infant, in the first 6 months of life, let's say, and what you really don't need to waste your money on. So I thought today I would come on and do a little de-influencing to let you guys know my opinions on baby items and what you really need and what you can totally just forget about and don't need to purchase, because there are a lot of people out there with baby showers and a lot of items that you might think you need that you really don't need to waste your money on. So without further ado, I'm Maddie, and let's get into it. The first item you absolutely do not need to buy, please don't buy this, is a diaper genie or diaper pail. You do not need a specific trash can pail for dirty diapers. And let me explain why. It might seem convenient. It might seem like, okay, let's put all this disgusting crap, literally crap, into one pail, and then we can empty it out at the end of the week or whatever. Don't do this. With my first baby 7 years ago, we had a diaper genie. They market this all over the place to new moms who don't know better. Diaper genie. It's like a specific pail where you put all your dirty diapers. It was disgusting. Okay. We used it. We put all of our dirty diapers into the diaper genie. At the end of the week, my husband would take it out of the house. It was so disgusting. And it didn't even conceal the smell. It didn't even do its job. So here's my recommendation to you. Do not invest in one of these crappy diaper genies or a diaper pail. You don't need to. Here's what you do instead. Every time your child has a dirty diaper that smells, for instance, you wrap up the diaper. You get a bag, like a bag that you get from a grocery store, a plastic bag. You put the dirty diaper in the plastic bag and you put it outside somewhere, like on your back porch, somewhere outside where your dogs can't get it, animals can't get it, but it's outside, so it's not in your house. You don't have to smell it. Now, every time you're in one day, every time your baby has a dirty diaper in that day, you're going to go outside and put it in that plastic bag. At the end of that day, you're going to take the plastic bag, you're going to tie it up and throw it in your trash can. That's all you have to do, guys. It costs no money. You can save up your plastic bags from the grocery store and you can put your diapers in it and do that every single day. Do not waste your money on a diaper genie. Okay. So that's my first thing, diaper genie. Don't do it. And this is coming from my personal experience, by the way, just being a mom of three little girls, living and learning what I do and do not need. The second thing you absolutely do not need to spend your money on. And if you do spend your money on this, you probably figure out pretty soon that you didn't need to. It's shoes. Shoes for an infant. Shoes for an infant are cute. They're adorable. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. But you don't need them. If it's winter time and you are worried about your child's feet getting cold, they have a specific pair of, they look like socks, but they also have a Velcro tie on the top that keeps them in place. And you can find like one pair of those little things to put on your little baby's feet. Other than that, you do not need a single pair of shoes for your infant baby. My children didn't wear shoes the first year of their lives. And that goes for every single one of my kids. Even though for the first pregnancy, we bought shoes, we did, and they didn't use any of them. This time we were actually gifted a whole bag of shoes. She's 6 months old, my youngest daughter, and we have yet to put a pair of shoes on her feet. It's just the way it goes. They don't walk. They don't need shoes. She's not even crawling, and they just don't need it. I know it's cute to get little stuff for kids and babies that is unnecessary, but if you're looking to be balling on a budget and you're looking to not spend tons of money on this baby because babies don't require much, that's the truth. Skip out on the shoes. I promise you, you will not regret it. The third, so we have the diaper genie and baby shoes. You don't need it. You don't. The third item that you don't need, which is just ridiculous that I have to say this in the first place, is a wipe warmer, a baby wipe warmer. This is literally a box that warms up your baby wipes. Stupid, okay? Stupid. I promise your baby is going to be okay when that wet, cold wipe hits their bottom. They will live. They will be fine. It will not be causing them trauma. They will be just fine. It might be sounding good to make the wipes all nice and warm for their cozy little bottom. It's BS. You don't need a wipe warmer. I also had some kids that were actually in the NICU. They had a wipe warmer in the NICU. I think because when babies are super premature, it does cause them to get upset when the wipe is super cold on their skin and their skin is extra sensitive because they're not supposed to be out of the womb yet. That might be a caveat. But if you have a healthy baby who is at home with you, there's absolutely no need for a wipe warmer. Okay? That is a hill I will definitely die on. Now, there are plenty of other things that you do not need for your newborn, and plenty of things that are promoted to young moms, especially and pregnant moms, in a way that makes you feel like you need to buy it. And women fall down that trap of buying it. Another thing I would say is, like, if you have a baby who's 6 months or younger, you really do not need one of those covers for a grocery cart, a grocery store cart cover. You don't need that. And you probably won't need it anyway once they're bigger. The reason why you don't need it for a baby that's 6 months and younger is because when you take that baby at the grocery store, you're not going to be sitting them up in the cart. Okay. You're going to be taking them into their, what's it called? They're going to be taking them into their car seat. You're going to be putting the car seat into the cart, and they're going to be sitting in the cart in the car seat. That's how it's going to go. Or you're going to bring them in the stroller, and you're going to use a stroller, or you're going to baby wear them. One of those options. They're not going to be going in the cart at all. You don't need it. Another thing you don't need, and I think we're on number 5. Yeah, number 5. Another thing you don't need is a specific nursing cover. And this one might surprise you. You might think, well, I really do need that. If I'm going to be nursing, don't I need a nursing cover? No, you don't. You can either just use your shirt or use a blanket. You already have blankets, or you're already going to be buying blankets for your child anyway. So just use a blanket for a nursing cover. You don't need a specific nursing cover. People are just trying to make money off you. I promise you don't need a nursing cover. When I'm at home and I'm nursing, I don't use any type of cover at all. The only time I use a nursing cover, which is a blanket, I just use a blanket, is when I'm out and about. And there are even times where you can just nurse, like lift your shirt up a little bit and nurse and use your shirt as a nursing cover. Nursing covers are going to make your baby way too hot. They're going to be so uncomfortable and unnecessary for you to use. You do not need a nursing cover, okay? So a diaper genie, absolutely do not need it. Infant shoes or baby shoes, do not need it. A wipe warmer, absolutely forget about it. A grocery store cover, grocery cart cover, you're not even going to be putting your baby in the grocery cart until they're older anyway. Don't need it, forget about it. A nursing cover, don't waste your money. Now I'm going to get into a few things that you really do need to invest in, because along with the things that we don't need to invest in, I think it's important to mention a few things that I absolutely, as a mom of 3 with 7 years of parenting experience, would advocate for every mother to get. Okay, let's see. What would be the most important? You're obviously going to need a good transportation system. This is where I would choose to invest my money. This is where I would encourage you to choose to invest your money in, rather than a bunch of unnecessary little stuff. I would choose to invest your money in a really good stroller, a really good car seat. Those 2 things. Now, it's undeniable you're going to be using a car seat. And if you're anything like me and you like to go on walks, like to be out and about, you're going to need a good stroller. If you're planning on having more than one kid, I would invest in a really honestly a quite good stroller. I have the Up a Baby stroller. I have had that with all of my kids and I absolutely love it. Love it. You can tell the difference. It's amazing. It has the car seat goes into the stroller. It also has 2 other seats and a bassinet that can go in the stroller. It also can be a double stroller if you have more than one kid. And I got it off Marketplace used. I think they retail for over $1,000, but on Marketplace they're like 400 or 300, maybe even 200, and it is worth the money. It really is worth the money to have a good stroller, a good travel system, especially if you plan on having more than one kid. Okay. Other things you need to actually invest in would be good bottles. Good bottles, if you're going to be bottle feeding at all, when your child gets older and they're just drinking milk or whatever, or juice, you're going to need bottles anyway. I like Dr. Brown's. They help. They help by limiting the amount of air that the baby takes in. So a good travel system with a good car seat and a good stroller, absolutely necessary. And then some really good bottles. Some good bottles. Dr. Brown's is a great brand that I would recommend. Other things you're going to actually need to invest in a baby monitor. And you don't need to buy top of the line baby monitor. You really don't. You can just get a baby monitor as long as you can see them and hear them in the baby monitor. It's portable. You can go outside and talk to a friend, or you can go somewhere else and be able to see and hear your baby while they're napping is really crucial to have that. So I would invest in a baby monitor. Now, there are other things, obviously, that you're going to have to invest in, like crib sheets, like a bassinet or a crib, or maybe even both, or the obvious diapers, wipes, but you really do just need the essentials when you have a baby. I know if it's your first time being a mom and it's your first baby, you're probably really excited. You probably want to go overboard and buy a ton of stuff. That's totally normal and you can do that. This is just for the mom who wants to be balling on a budget, mom who just wants to get the essentials, doesn't want to be taken advantage of by the baby industry and the pregnancy industry and spend tons of money on a literal infant. So those are my main things that I would say to avoid and the main essentials that you need. When it comes to clothes, baby clothes, your baby, no matter what size they are at birth, your baby is going to grow fast. Your baby is going to grow. So you don't need to buy 100 onesies for the newborn stage. Actually, the newborn stage, usually babies grow out of the newborn clothes quite quickly. So I would advise even not getting much for the newborn stage. 0 to 3 is a better size to shop for. I find that my babies, and from my friends talking to my friends too, that babies are usually in 0 to 3 clothes a lot longer than they're in newborn clothes. But one tip of advice I have for you that my husband and I learned pretty quickly with our first is to avoid getting any sleepers or any baby items, baby clothes that have buttons. It's really a pain in the ass to have to unbutton and rebutton these tiny little buttons when you're just trying to do diaper changes. Diaper changes in the first early days, you have a million diaper changes all day long. So get the ones with the zippers. Even if it's cute, I don't care. I would say don't buy it if it has buttons. And my husband and I actually make that a rule in our house. Like we refuse to buy a sleeper if it has buttons. This stuff has to have zippers. You need to get zippers. Anything with buttons, avoid it. Even if it's cute, just get the sleepers and the onesies and everything with zippers. Zippers are a must. Now, one other thing is the topic of baby baths. I know that there are a lot of different kinds of baby baths, a lot of different styles. I would actually make the argument that you really do not need to have a baby bath. And now, I know, crazy point to make. I don't know, you probably never even heard anyone say that. The truth is that if you have a partner, you really do not need a baby bath. And that's because all you have to do is take that little munchkin and wrap him up in a little baby towel. And while you're in the shower, put them on your chest and bathe them while you're taking a shower. I did not learn this trick or this method, you can say, until my third baby, until this time around. So I've had a baby bath with every other baby, and we did use it, but it's kind of a pain in the butt. Like, it really is kind of a pain. And it's just something that you don't absolutely need. You can bathe your baby, and if you're in the bath, you can do the same thing. Wrap them in a little towel so they're not slippery, put them on your chest, and while you're in the bath, you can bathe the baby, and then your partner can take them once you're done bathing the baby. Either way, shower, bath works either way. Stupid stuff that you absolutely don't need. Just to add on a few, why don't I, at the end of here, this video, anything that goes in the crib is recommended to not go in the crib, like bumpers on the crib or blankets in the crib, stuffed animals in the crib. It's all recommended for safe sleep standards to not have any of that in the crib anyway, so you might as well not buy it. A diaper table, a changing diaper table. What am I saying? A changing table. Some people will be dying on the hill that you absolutely need a changing table. You don't. Okay, you really, really do not. With my first baby, we had 2 changing tables. We had 2 changing tables, like one downstairs in the living room and one in the nursery. We did not really use either changing table at all. What ends up happening is you change the baby wherever you are. You change the baby with a blanket on the couch. You change the baby with a blanket on the floor. You don't use the changing table. Like, usually you don't. Your baby is crying. They smell like crap. Like, you need to get this diaper out of their body. You need to get it off them. So you're going to lay down a blanket and change them wherever you are, or a mat and change them wherever you are. You're not going to need to buy, especially not an expensive changing table that the baby is only going to be fitting in for so long. It can also be dangerous once they learn to roll over. So I would just say no to the changing table. Guys, you really don't need much for a baby. You really can do this on a budget. It really does not require much, especially if you're breastfeeding. If you are formula feeding, formula might end up being one of the highest costs that you have for your baby. Now, as far as toys go for your baby, until they're about 4-6 months old, you don't need any toys, okay? They just need you. You're not going to need toys for your baby. Once they begin teething, it would be good to have some teething rings. Once they start to take little tastes of food, there are some things you can get to help you out with that. Bibs will be nice. Bibs, I would encourage you to get some bibs, actually, because babies do drool a lot, spit up a lot. So bibs are necessary. Get some bibs. You don't need to buy a lot. You don't need to have them be expensive bibs, but bibs are good to have in a large amount because you're going to go through a lot of bibs every single day. Burp cloths are good to have as well. Those are not overrated. You do need burp cloths and bibs. I'm trying to make sure I covered all my bases here. There's something called an Owlet sock. It's like a monitor, like a heart rate monitor, blood pressure monitor for a baby. And I would say forget about that unless your baby has some type of serious health condition where you feel more at peace knowing their stats throughout the night. Otherwise, you really don't need that at all. Baby play gyms. Until your baby can bounce in a bouncer, I don't think you need to have them having a play gym. It's good to have a mat for tummy time, but they don't need these stupid little play gyms. They don't even need a mobile. Yeah, they really don't need a mobile. And I would not advise to get a mobile or one of those things that the babies can look at on the side of their crib that's kind of like a TV screen. That's actually harmful for a baby. Don't get that. So with babies, I guess my main message is that less can be more when it comes to babies and baby development. Humans have been having babies, as you know, for, thousands of years now. And most of this gear has not even existed until the past 100 years. So they will be fine. In fact, I think the less stuff you get for your baby, the better it is for the baby's development. Because a lot of this stuff is just very unnatural and unnecessary for the baby's development. And like the screens and the the rapid movements and the animation, it can actually harm your baby's development. So I hope this video has been helpful for some people. I thought I'd put it together because I feel like I do have the experience now, having been a mom now for 7 years, 3 different babies, and across the board, this is what the conclusions that I would come to. If I wish I had this video for myself back then when I was a first-time mom. And let me know in the comments what you think. What items do you think are completely unnecessary? What would you buy again and again and again? And what would you encourage new moms or pregnant moms to spend their money on? What should they really invest in? I would be curious to know. See you in the next one.